Welcome to Freaky Fast Broadcasting. We're here tonight with the Sim Racing Unleashed Cup Series here at the Kentucky Speedway for the Hannah Hurlbut Memorial 225 here. So a very special race tonight, not only for these drivers out on track, but in memory of Hannah. So we definitely want to bring more of that to light here as we get more to our broadcast, but we need to give a special shout out to the main sponsor here at Sim Racing Unleashed, and that is Budget Sim Boxes. If you're a sim racer on a budget looking for a button box, then Budget Sim Boxes is your source. With several different sizes and functionality options, Budget Sim Boxes will have your button box that fits your price range without breaking the bank. Budget Sim Boxes is your source of high quality button boxes at an affordable price. You can find them on Facebook by searching Budget Sim Boxes or look for them in the iRacing flea market on Facebook. And definitely want to go check those out. I have myself a Budget Sim Box, very great. And I want to give also a special shout out to Stephen Leffler. I hope you get well, buddy, out there, as he is the man behind Budget Sim Boxes here, our primary sponsor at SRU. But what a night we have here, not only to have a great race, but in memory of Hannah Hurlbut here at the Kentucky Speedway. David, I know you got a few laps out there, and it's going to be a special race here tonight. What do you think is going to be some of the keys here to set it all up as we're up here in the booth?
Yeah, I think some of the keys is going to be you got to keep your car clean. Just even a small damage on this track here will have an effect, and even if it's a tenth of a lap lost, I suspect that we're going to have some long green flag runs, and so that tenth of a second lost per lap adds up pretty quickly. So got to keep your car clean and be patient. At the start of the race, and then the other part is going to be I found this track to be pretty loose off, center off, getting loose there, especially on the right rear. I found the right rear was getting more wear, more heat. So the cars are running on the inside lane there. Just going to have to be cautious. If you lose it, you're chasing up the hill, and there's cars on the outside, and you can collect them. But it's going to be a fun race. Looking forward to this. Fun track. I really do like this track, and I expect us to have some really good racing tonight.
That we should see some spectacular racing here. Is 150 laps. Let's say a long race around this 1.5 mile racetrack. It's going to be fun stuff to watch. Is last week Steven Stippian was able to bring home the win at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and right now we're looking at some other fast drivers who were performing well there. One that's looking at me is Michael Yarrow. Didn't have a great I'd say finish that Indianapolis race, but had the great start to it, David, so we can see him looking good as he's pretty quick here in practice, but times right now looking pretty close. It's going to be a very, very close race, I think, between the top contenders, and also the transition to this Gen 6 car. It's been fun to watch so far.
Yeah, it has been, and I'm going to keep an eye on what happens with Dave Bush. Had a difficult race last week, and see if he can rebound here. Dropped a couple of spots in point standing, but we'll see if he can pick it back up, get his momentum back, and make some ground here on this track.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one to see, as you can see from the beautiful shot here above the Kentucky Speedway. It's a very new racetrack to the service too, Dave. One of the more smooth surfaces, I would say. That's one thing that's very interesting about this track. When you drive around it, the old Kentucky used to be so bumpy and abrasive, where this one, I feel like this one's got a lot of ways from that, and it's going to be fun to see how these drivers attack this racetrack.
Yeah, it is very smooth all the way around this track, and like I said, it's a lot of fun. You can ride, run around here too wide on this track and have plenty of room with each other. So yeah, I agree with you. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun to watch, and it's gonna be interesting to see too if we're gonna have a repeat winner from last week. I think it was Hunter Hayward that won here last season. So we'll be able to see him win another one this season.
Yeah, it's good to see him back out there. That's a good point. Hayward is a past champion here at SRU and a past winner, like he said, here in Kentucky. I actually fondly remember that race. He was very, very good here, and actually got to talk to him a little bit before the race, and he seems in good spirits for tonight, so we'll see what that number 48 machine can do, but he's going to have a tough competition, of course. As Steven Stippian won last week in Indianapolis, took that one away from Mark Whitley. We've seen how dominant Whitley was there after going on that 2-race win streak. We can see somebody new step up. Chuck Sweeting, I think, someone to watch for too. Michael Yarrow. There's so many down the list that really we could just stand here all night reading through the list, I think, David, with all the guys that could potentially set themselves some victory lane tonight.
Yeah, and then you can't rule out the fact that, do we have a new winner? Somebody who's, just hasn't got a win already this season, and they rise to the top and end up taking the win here. So it's going to be an exciting race to call and to watch. If you're a racing fan, definitely tune into this. Stay and watch this thing. I think you're going to be in for a great show.
Also, another thing noticing too, only 4 sets of tires tonight, so that means 3 in pit road. David, I think that's it's going to be something interesting for him to work out because, this track, yes, very smooth, not a newer surface. It's still going to wear the tires out a considerable bit. So, I think we're going to see those tires become very important as the first couple times here roll in from our qualifying session. And look at that, the man fastest, or the guy who was in victory lane last week, Steven Stippian, here sitting on top of the board. That's already a good sign so far for him as Mark Whitley sits in second. See the second lap times pick up anything. Looks like Stympian lost a little bit on his second time. We'll see if anybody else can pick up on that second lap.
Yeah, not too surprising there, but he had the fastest lap time in practice, so not too surprising to see him up front. He's been running up front pretty consistently all season.
And as that happens, Michael Yarrow, he goes up as second on the board. I expect him to have a good run here tonight for sure in that number 9 machine, so we'll see how it all shakes out for him as we look at Robbie Darnell in the 44, the beautiful pink scheme there. I love it for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's October is always a good month for awareness, and definitely a great cause that people do here running these cars like this.
Yeah, it's something we're seeing in a lot of leagues, just paying a lot of respect to this month, and bringing awareness, constantly forward to here in SRU seeing the same thing. So appreciate that, and another thing to keep an eye on. We haven't talked about him yet, but Mark Whitley, he's got 2 wins already this season, so it'll be interesting to see what he does here on this track. I expect him to be a strong force to be reckoned with as well.
Oh, I definitely think so too. I think this switch to the Gen 6 is going to suit him very well. He's a very skilled driver, and I think this car is going to suit those drivers who are more used to this previous package a little bit more. I think Whitley fits right in that wheelhouse. As we're looking at Chuck Sweeting here, looks like he's going to be putting down his first qualifying time. Wouldn't be surprised to see this man here at some point show up in victory lane. I've seen him do big things before. Right now, going to slide into that 5th position on the board there. So top 5 qualifying spot there for Chuck Sweeting. Really good at Indianapolis last week. Hopefully no network issues because he had to come from the back to the front there.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're right. You called it out last broadcast, keeping an eye on him, and he was doing a great job, and just had that network issue, just kind of took him away from getting a great finish. So yeah, he's somebody to keep an eye on as well. And like you said, there's so many drivers on here, and this track here, just anything can happen. So I think the key to this part here, like I said earlier, keep that car clean, give yourself an opportunity to be there at the end, and then once again, pit road entries. I found that pit road entry wasn't that bad, but you could easily lose your car, on pit exit. So we'll have to keep an eye on that and see if anybody makes mistakes on pit road.
That we will have to watch as Cody Dorson comes to a stop there. Looks like he'll slide in 14th on the board. Is now to Brandon Hartwell. The 25 machine, he comes across the line. Looks like right now he's going to be slotted into the 6th position there. So he's going to go directly behind Chuck Sweeting, 2,000ths off of that 75 machine. So good lap there from Brandon Hartwell. He's another one I expect to start to really pick it up with the Gen 6 car. But got to give a shout out to Dave Bush, our winner from the season opener at Daytona in that 53 machine. He's sitting 4th on the board. He picked up a lot of time from his practice, and that was something I've noticed from a lot of these times. Nobody really picking up from practice. Everybody's times seem to be somewhat into the draft to get those lower lap times there. But Dave Bush, major pickup for him, about a half a tenth there, and he's going to put himself in the top 5 early in the going. And you definitely want to have track position when it comes to this package.
Yeah, definitely, and good to see him having a good qualifying time. Like I said at the beginning of the broadcast, just had a challenging race last week, so he's looking to rebound and gain that momentum back. And he's already got 1 win this season. Be nice to see him up front again, and try to capture on another victory.
And that it will be, David, as we look to bring up our starting grid. Steven Stympian, what a way to come off a win at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. As you can see here from our qualifying results, he's going to start from that pole position. Second's going to go to the 9 of Michael Yarrow. Third place going to end up in the 77 of Mark Whitley's hands. Fourth's going to be Dave Bush. Like I said, a great qualifying spot for him. Rounding out the top 5, there's going to be Chuck Sweet in that 75. Sixth place going to go to Brandon Hartwell. Seventh's going to be Hunter Hayward in his return back to SRU. Eighth's going to be Larry Blair. Ninth place going to go to Byron Bartlett. And rounding out our top 10 here tonight is Keith Hurlbut in the 7 machine.
But then we got Dakota Bryant starting in 11th, and then you got Robbie Darnell starting 12th. Brad Delta starting 13 with Cordy Dorsey starting in the 14th spot. We have Robert starting in 15th, and then we got Mark starting in the 16th. Bringing up the 17th spot, we got Dylan, and then in 18th position, we had Randy Pierre followed by the 19th position of Mike Chamberlain, and then topping the top 20 is James Bryant.
And 21st place is going to be Clifton Ashley. 22nd going to go to Kevin Roy. 23rd going to go to Paul Cohen. 24th, Jim Coleman-Sperger. 25th, Jason Adams. And rounding out your field here tonight in the 26th position is Cody Lucas. We got a great field here tonight at the Sim Racing Unleashed Cup Series at the Kentucky Speedway. And remember, tonight's Hannah is the Hannah Hurlbut Memorial 225 here at Kentucky, as we're going to get ready for these drivers to start them up on pit road, leave, and get ready to begin tonight's 150 laps here. I'm just trying to think out how the strategy is going to play out a little bit here, David. But man, I'm telling you what, for 150 laps, 4 sets of tires, these guys are going to have to play some interesting strategies.
Yeah, they are, and anytime I try to figure out these guys' strategy, I'm always a little bit off because these guys just do a great job of changing up their game plan, and I suspect that we're going to have a few of them play out, and with what I suspect will be several long green flag runs. It's going to be interesting, who decides to pit first and gain that advantage and get some fresh tires.
And definitely so. As we pull off of pit road here, as we're looking at the number 7 here of Keith Hurlbut, we definitely want to give him a special shout out, as he's the man of the honor here tonight. Is all about his daughter here. It's a memorial race about Hannah Hurlbut. She was unfortunately passed away due to juvenile diabetes, and that definitely hits at home for here. So as you can see on Keith Hurlbut's car, the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation's cars he's running here tonight, a beautiful scheme. There you have it. So bringing awareness to diabetes and something that we should definitely always be reminded of here is definitely a special night here, as we want to honor Hannah Hurlbut here, as we're going to get ready to take the green flag. We're going to do a moment of silence up here in the booth, everybody, as they take the first few laps here at the Kentucky Speedway, just in remembrance of Hannah Hurlbut. So thank you all for tuning in here, as always, to Freaky Fast Broadcasting. We're going to have the 81 Steven Stipia starting up front, but we're going to ride here and watch Keith Hurlbut's opening laps here at the Kentucky Speedway. As like I said, tonight is the Hannah Hurlbut Memorial 225. Thank you all for tuning in as we get ready to go green flag racing here at the Kentucky Speedway. And it looks like we'll be extending our lap here as we go to a moment of silence. But we thank you all for joining there with our moment of silence up here for Hannah Hurlbut here at the Sim Racing Unleashed Cup Series. Great moment there, definitely. And so awesome for the league here to do something like this. This is amazing. And again, make sure you go check out the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation And if you can help out at all, it would be much appreciated as always. And just a great cause there. Here is we get ready to re-rack them back up tonight, though, in memory of Hannah Hurlbut. Well, David, we got them all racked up. 150 laps here tonight at the Kentucky Speedway. It's not only a night of remembrance, but a night of racing here at this beautiful racetrack. We're getting ready to take them green flag racing here with Steven Stippian out front. It's going to be a wild show. Thank you all for tuning in.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun race to watch here, and I want to tip my hat off to the league for showing some great support, and our thoughts are with the Hurlbut family.
Got to echo that sentiment there, David, for sure, as the pace car pulls in here tonight. And we get ready to go green flag racing here at the Kentucky Speedway. Green flag is in the air. Steven Stippian is on the gas pedal down to turn one. He's going to get a great start over Michael Yarrow with the help of the 77 of Mark Whitley and take a quick lead here down into 1 and 2.
Yeah, inside line had a good start there and able to clear the outside lane and make some moves early as we see some cars already drift to the outside.
Cars all jumping up to that outer groove there, and that's where the draft is at. You're going to see now down in the 3 here. We're going to all get spread out into the corner as the Kentucky Speedway offers up some pretty good lines here once the track got paved, and now you can see as we pace through the field, it is a good little battles going on throughout. As you can see Keith Hurlbut there in the 7 machine already under battle. Looks like he'll get passed by the 44 there of, the 5 of Dylan Zelms.
Yeah, I tell you, it's a good run here. Some of the guys are already getting sorted out single file, but then we still have a few cars that are running side by side as we get ready to complete lap 2. But this is like you were talking about. It's a good wide track, repaved, nice and smooth. But what you'll find is that some of the guys on the exit there, as lap wears on, you'll get a little bit tight. You just get close to that wall, especially if you're behind another car. It takes that arrow off your nose.
And I tell you what, David, even looking at this too, the inside line was the big line that moved there. Really, our guys who started all on the bottom went forward there. As you can see, first, third, fifth, and seventh, all 1, 2, 3, 4. Is second, fourth, and sixth dropped all the way back here. So it's that outside line did not get going very well. Michael Yarrow on the outside groove there. Now he's back to fifth. We started second here early on. Mark Whitley, though, putting a lot of pressure on Steven Stippian up front, getting to that back bumper almost, entering down that front straightaway. So looks like hard-fought battle's already going on. We'll have to see who can hold the track position, because I can say, well, I raced these cars last night at the Auto Club Speedway. It is so tough to be able to make passes once you get a little bit of wear on the tires. It is almost impossible.
Yeah, it is, and a lot of what we saw from last night, we're probably what we'll see here is being able to set those passes up on the straightaways or here on the front stretch where you get the long runs to get that draft. But yeah, you're right. It's one thing when you get that run and you go either on the inside, is to try and make it stick to the center corner and they off you exit there. It's whether you can hold it down there and clear the pass.
Early into going here, single file throughout much of the field is the 73 here, Larry Blair up top. Looks like he's getting passed by the 5 of Dylan Zelms. He started in the 8th position. He's giving up 12th right now, so that's 4 back for the 73 of Larry Blair, and not too far behind him. You can see Keith Hurlbut there in that 7 machine all over the back bumper of the 73 here as he continues to try to go forward. Cody Dorsey and Mike Chamberlain battle behind that in 1 and 2 also for 14th and 15th.
Yeah, and looking at Dylan there, he's already up 6 spots there, so making some moves a little bit early. Got a good start there too, and then Mark Whitley's already in P2. So a couple of names we talked about earlier, including Chuck, all running towards the front to kind of kicking off the way we started. But one thing to just keep an eye on is the start here of this race was the inside line getting such a good start there and being able to clear the outside lane as to whether or not they'll be able to do this if there is another a reset under a caution.
The 5 of Dylan Zelms, he is charging up to the field from the 17th position. And also Brad Delph, also another really good charge for him as he broke into the top 8 there. But Zelms, he's trying to break into the top 9 from 17th. That 5 machine is on a run for sure as it's like Byron Bartlett in the 2. He's starting to drop back also a little bit with Dakota Bryant in the 58.
Yeah, so 8 laps on our 8th lap here. So we'll see as you probably get around lap 15 or so. This is when some of that wear and heat gets into those tires. We're going to start seeing cars maybe start moving up to the top lane, or whether they continue to run more towards the load lane here. So just to see how these guys, you got to be really comfortable to be able to run that top line, put that close to the wall. So be interested to see if anybody does that and if they're able to make it work for themselves.
Yeah, right now a lot of drivers trying to work over the drivers in front of them. As you can see, Chuck Sweeten, he's given up now that position to the 48 of Hunter Hayward. So Hayward is going to make the move up to third, directly behind the 77 of Mark Whitley. So did see one pass being made. This track here, I think this place will set up passes a little bit better, where if you take a chance and try to make a pass on somebody, you may not give up the position to the guy behind you. That's the key, David. That's really the one thing I've noticed most of this package is you don't see a lot of passing being made because people don't want to take chances. And you take those chances, if you don't get the pass done, you lose about 3 or 4 positions. So it's a risk versus reward thing when you're driving out here a lot of times with this package at the moment. So I think if you have space, have a couple car lengths back to that guy, you're going to take that chance to pass him. But if that car is a couple car lengths back, you're going to probably look to just fall in line.
Yeah, exactly. Good point there is that if you are going to make that pass, or attempt to make that pass, you've got to make sure that you got the big enough run to be able to do so. Or like you said, if the car is close to you on the backside, you might not be able to make that pass, and then you instead of gaining a spot, you end up losing 2 or 3 spots.
That is how fast it can happen. Right now is our top 5 have really started to break away and get on top of each other. Yarrow, he goes to the inside of Chuck Sweeting here off of turn 4, but Sweeting going to have a better run off of 4 to clear him. But they've started to open up a little bit of gap back to Brandon Hartwell, who's actually just got past Dave Bush for that 6th position. So Hartwell on the move here early, back up to where he started. He fell back almost all the way to around the 8th position there, so gained some positions back up as Hunter Hayward. I noticed he almost got to the wall as we look on board here with Dave Bush here, sorry, he has a great shot up here of the battles going on.
Yeah, and Dylan, number 5 car, still gaining spots, up 9 spots already. So he's putting those tires to work early.
That he is. Dylan Selms up to 8th position. One more spot, and he'll be up 10 spots. That is a wild run up the field for the 5. You got to be wondering how his tires are going to fare here as this run continues on. You can really seem to get away with that with the next-gen car, but this car will make you pay a little bit more in that next-gen, burning that right front tire up early, and you will be struggling at that point. He's got Dakota Bryant all over the back of him here for 9th. It's a good little battle though throughout the whole entire field.
It is a good battle, and keep an eye on our leader, Steven, running a 31.72 that last lap, with Hunter Hayward having a little bit quicker lap, putting down to 31.68.
Yeah, and that was pretty interesting too, because about 3 or 4 laps before that, Hayward in the 48 almost taking the wall down as we got the free hugs machine here. Dakota Bryant, gotta love that. Everybody needs a hug sometimes, so gotta shout out Dakota for giving free hugs.
Yeah, definitely one of my favorite cars to see on the track. And it must be pleasant to race around them and drive around them either behind or in front, and just kind of seeing that out there too. A lot of great paint schemes we're seeing on the track tonight.
Definitely a lot of great schemes out there. As you can see, the 52 James Bryan now back to the 33 Mark Koschik. You can see throughout the field is need to get some numbers on there, Mark. Unfortunately, no numbers showing up on the side of the door for Koschik there. As he's got Jim Kolbensberger here running up to the back of him in the 19 machine. He's up from 24th to 19th. It's a great run for Jim. Is not too far even behind that. Clifton Ashley in the 10 machine with Kevin Roy. These two farther back. So definitely getting strung out here in the opening 16 laps. But we got groups of cars all around this Kentucky Speedway.
Yep, that we do, and we only have a couple of cars that are still running in the 31-second mark. You got Steve running a 31.97, Hunter Hayward running a 31.98, and then here shortly up to this lap, even Michael Yarrow was running a 31.95, so he's just now getting into the 32 though.
Great laps being made so far throughout field. Oh, battle for second heating up actually. He's looking Jason Adams in the 24. Here comes Hunter Hayward. He makes the move on Mark Whitley. Great job from the 48, and he's excelling right now as he's continuing his climb through the field. Hunter Hayward on return to the Gen 6 car, showing some pace here at Kentucky.
Yeah, I think he's shown that he's comfortable at this track and have something figured out. Like I said, he was our last year's winner and already working his way towards the front.
Looking very good at that. We'll see what he can do to track down his teammate Steven Stapien 6/10 up the road from him. As you can look back now at the 77 of Whitley, who just gave up that second spot. Gotta say, that's a beautiful scheme too there. Shout out to Hurlbut Designs out there in the chat, and the great breast cancer awareness scheme. I love when guys got the pink on their car. And I tell you what, we saw a pink car win last night. Did we see another pink car win here tonight?
Yeah, we might be able to see that. One thing I just noticed is that the number 2 of Brian went into pit road, so I'm not sure if he's having issues there, but early pit stop.
Definitely an early pit stop for Byron, and he's parked it behind the wall. So the 2 of Byron Bartlett he's done for the night. So he brings it down. Robert Cheswick in the 6. He's in pit road too. Unsure what is bringing some of these guys to pit road. Oh, heavy damage actually for the 6 machine of Robert Cheswick. So a couple laps ago, he must have got into some type of incident there. And I'm going to try to figure out that for us there, David.
Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder if maybe the 6 and the 2 got together somewhere on the track there, and that's what's causing them to have to come in and one retire and the other one get repairs.
Oh, major incident actually between the 44 Robbie Darnell and Byron Bartlett there in the 2, and then Cheswick having nowhere to go. He knocks the front end off the car. I think he maybe was having cooling issues, so he goes ahead and brings it down. Byron puts it behind the wall, but Robbie Darnell is still out there making laps in the 44 machine. He's now slid to the last position on the racetrack that hasn't pitted yet. So back to 22nd, last car on the lead lap.
That's the great thing about this track. So we had that contact, obviously out there, and yet we still remain under green. So this is why I think we're in for some long green flag runs. We'll probably be able to see some green flag pit stops. So it's good to throw a lot of different strategies into play to keep an eye on and then see how it all shakes out.
We're watching these battles conclude. This is where the tires are starting to wear out. This is why we're starting to see, I think, a good bit of passing now. Personally, this track is looking a little bit more racy than our normal mile and a half. And to put it plain and simple, what I think it is, it's down to it being a one-groove racetrack. With having multiple grooves lately, you can run side by side through the corners, and that equals to being side by side down the straights, where I think the outside line then becomes the preferred groove when you're down these back straightaways and front straightaways. This track a little bit more one grooved and dominant, bottom dominant. So I think it's actually equating to some better racing. Who would have thought one groove race would be better?
Yeah, and it's like I said, this is one of my favorite tracks to race on because it's a wide track. You can see some cars right there running a little bit on a high line, but the start of this race, the low line's already been the dominant line. I think we're going to see that all race long. But as we continue to see guys get laps of their tires, you're going to just keep seeing them get higher and higher because they won't be able to hold the bottom.
Battle for the 3rd position going on right now is Chuck Sweeten. He's trying to take it from Mark Whitley. And then also Michael Yarrow there directly behind. Chuck Sweeten can't put the power down out of 2, getting a little tight. Let's see if Yarrow helps him in the 9. He's actually going to help that 75 here. Is they're going to be dead even down in the 3. I think this one, that bottom lane is going to prevail, though, down here in 3 and 4 as Chuck Sweeten tries to clear the 77. Yes, he does. He is now up to 3rd as Chuck Sweeten again having another good run here at SRU.
Yeah, obviously another great run here, and great pass. I mean, he went in there with confidence to make sure he can clear the car and move up. So this is what we were talking about earlier, when you are able to have that opportunity to make the pass, that you're able to get in there and make the pass, get up there, slide in front of the car. Because if not, he would have probably lost the spot where the car was behind him.
And right now, Mark Whitley, our past series champion, David, here, he's starting to struggle and drop back. You thinking maybe he's hurt the tires here maybe early to go?
It's possible. He definitely could have overheated them and is now paying the price for that. But I tell you who's not paying the price is Dylan. He's now up 10 spots into the 7th position.
That he is. Dylan Zelms continuing his charge through the field, up 10 spots like you alluded to there, David. That is a drive and a half. Right now, even the lap times aren't the worst for him for how hard he pushed. He's only about 2/10 off our leader's pace right now, 6 seconds back. So, a good portion back, but what a drive he had to do to get up to here. If we get a caution at some point here during this race, that'll help him get reset back up there at the leaders and maybe be able to keep a little bit better pace as the run goes on. As right now he's about a second back from Brandon Hartwell, who he actually is running quicker times than, as you can see directly out his windshield there. There is Brandon Hartwell. So maybe Zelm's able to claw this up to 6, but it's going to be a long way up to Mark Whitley though in the 5th position.
Yeah, he definitely would be happy to see a caution as long as he's not the one in it. But you know, if you watch his wheel there, you don't see a lot of overcorrection or anything, so this car looks like it's handling really, really well for him.
Yeah, very smooth wheel, definitely, from that 5 machine. Is Michael Yarrow there. He gets by for 4th on Mark Whitley also. So great run for Yarrow here after running good at Indianapolis. It's I tell you what though, the guy we haven't really talked about too much is because he's driving away from the field right now is Steven Stippian. He's been known to be such a good driver at saving his tires and making them last on the longer runs. Right now, it's proven with this switch to the Gen 6 so far, at least tonight, the tire wear has fell into his hands here as he's continued to put down some of the fastest times around the racetrack. Him and teammate Hunter Hayward, they've pretty much matched each other by the thousands the last couple laps here. So they're pretty dead even, but man, Stippian looking very, very strong in this 81 once again.
Yeah, when you're talking about similar lap time, 32:44, 32:45. I mean, these guys are just mimicking each other. But yeah, Steven just doing a great job and real smooth on all his inputs, and you know, he's got a little over a second lead over second place. So just already out the gate doing a fantastic job.
Looking very strong here in the open 30 laps that he is right now. The field definitely getting a good bit spread out. It looks like back here at the 00, Randy Peer, he's kind of got a little bit of battles going on with him. James Bryant, Keith Hurlbut, the 7, Jim Kolmsberger, really from 13th on back to 16th. These guys are pretty close. Not only in that, Clifton Ashley, Kevin Roy, and Mark Koschik all, I'd say, within a 2-second gap here from 14th all the way back to 13th all the way back to 19th.
You know, we talked about the our biggest mover being Dylan, and you know, one of our drivers that's kind of struggling early on was the 44 of Robbie. He's lost 9 spots. Who looks like he's having a little issues with getting acclimated to the track here, but early still got plenty of time to go. You know that he's probably going to need a caution to try and get that time caught back up.
And another driver seeming to really struggle at the moment is the 53-day Bush. He started up in that 4th position right now. He's about to be under attack for possibly Larry Blair here, about 12th spot. And unfortunate for Dave, it just seems like the tires have gone away. He was running that opening laps in around the 6th position for the start, and right now, kind of struggling for Dave Bush here in Kentucky. Definitely, probably looking at some pretty hurt tires, and even look at heavy right side damage on that 53. That is definitely hurting him.
Yeah, it goes back to one of the keys that we were talking about at the beginning of the race here, which was, you know, taking care of your equipment. So it looks like he might have got a little bit tight there on exit and made some contact on that side. It, you know, like we talked about in the beginning, just a little bit of lost time. You know, with the 10th, you know, adds up lap after lap.
That it does. As you continue to make laps around here. 33 laps in the books, on to lap 34 here for Steven Stippian as he continues to try to open up the gap back to teammate Hunter Hayward. Chuck Sweeting and Michael Yarrow, though, they have not let Hayward get away, and they've, you know, really the top 4 have kind of kept pace, while Mark Whitley, our champion from last season, he's actually starting to drop back a good bit here, as you can see the 77, about 3.2 seconds back now from our leader. He definitely had to have hurt the tires here early in the going.
Yeah, his last lap was a 32.73, where Stevens was 32.58. So, yeah, I think you hit it right off the head there. That you might have just overcooked those tires early on and wore them up pretty early, and kind of paying the price now.
We know how frustrated Whitley was after last week in Indianapolis. This is got to be unfortunate to come out here and have a little bit of a tough start. But I tell you what, you can't give up on Mark yet. He'll learn from this run. If we get some type of caution to bring it all back together, I would not be surprised to see him fix any of his issues. But now you look at Brandon Hartwell in the 25 machine. He's only about a half a second ahead of Dylan Zelms in the 5. So right now Zelms has been quicker. This is also a driver I'm kind of surprised has struggled as much this season so far, especially with this switch to Gen 6 car. He at some points a couple seasons ago was dominant in this style racing here. Now, not is looking as good, but still a good top 6 position for Brandon Hartwell. He still wants, I know, to get in victory lane.
Yeah, and after last week, he picked up 6 spots, moving up to 13. So he's hoping to have a good run here and continue to make a climb on the point standings.
As you ride on board with him here, you can see a lot of shadows on the racetrack too here. So we can see our weather here also to bring that up. It's only a 94-degree track temp there, as a 85-degree ambient temperature out here in Kentucky. Mostly cloudy, west wind of 8 mile an hour and about a 43% relative humidity. So some good weather, but a cooler racetrack for sure. Probably a lot of grip out there, as it looks very much a shaded racetrack here tonight.
Yeah, definitely a cooler track, and it's going to give more grip. But the downside of more grip is more tire wear.
And that it is. It definitely seems to eat away at them tires, and the driver who's starting to eat away is the second place man of Hunter Hayward. He's starting to take little gaps out of that leader, Steven Stipping. It was 1.4 at one point. Now 0.8 of a second back to the 40 of Hunter Hayward, and looking at his pace, he's got to around a 32.5, and he's kind of kept there. So got to give Hunter Hayward credit. He is starting to chop into the lead, and even Chuck Sweeten just a little bit quicker than the leader the last few times.
Yeah, Hunter Hayward doing a great job just running running the race on racing the track and not racing the driver. So taking care of his equipment is starting to pay off now as we get lap 39. He's just constantly knocking that time down to almost a half a second.
Yeah, you can see there each and every time by, Hunter Hayward's been quicker. 3,500s quicker on lap 34. Almost 2/10 on lap 35. Almost 3/10 on lap 36. He's really starting to take chunks out of this lead. And even that time by there, you can see, look how much quicker Hunter Hayward is. Another 8,400s there, almost a tenth of a second. So right now, the 48 really finding strides here late in the lap 40. And I'm thinking the pit window, David, I would say around lap 50 is when we're going to see it open up. I don't think anybody's going to be able to do 75 laps on a tank. So I'm looking at around lap 50 and lap 100 for maybe those first and second pit stops to transpire here tonight, but we'll have to see who flinches first. Right now, Hunter Hayward starting to reel in his teammate of the 81 of Steven Stipping.
Yeah, and the other person that's running some pretty good lap times as well is that third place car, number 75 Chuck. Also was running lap times that were faster than the leader. So both Hayward and Chuck making their way closer and closer to the front.
As we continue to show the lap times, I mean, you could just see Hunter Hayward. Each every time now we show Chuck Sweeting. He's been quicker, majority of the time. Other than lap 38 was the only time Chuck Sweeting wasn't quicker. It's definitely looking like I think this time Sweeting going to lose about 2/10. So didn't have the greatest lap there, but man, oh man, our leader Steven Stipping, he was looking like he had the long run pace for the good ending, but right now it's coming back to his young teammates' hands.
So when Hayward does catch up to him, it's going to be interesting to see does he have the tires left to make that pass. We talked about before that isn't the easiest place to pass. Low lines preferred, but after you get these tires worn, if these guys are running side by side, though, you might open that door for Chuck to close that gap up more.
Yeah, I think you alluded to it perfectly there. Is Hayward's looked like he's been able to close the gap down, but now he's got within a half second of Stipping. It's kind of evened out a little bit here. It's it's one thing catching somebody, completely different story when you start getting this close, and I think Hayward's going to find out about that pretty quickly. Is you start to hit a wall once you get to that half-second mark.
Yeah, we got Dave Bush in pit road now, so doing his service, looks like on lap 44.
Yeah, and Dave has elected to do this multiple times this season. It has worked out for him a couple times too, coming down early, and I like it to go ahead and come down early this time because he has major right side damage that they're getting worked on right now. He's not going to take a fast spray. I think that's a smart move also because if he gets involved in something major, then he'd be out of this race. But he's going to save that fast repair, get a little bit of right side damage fixed up on that machine, and try to get back out there and run some faster times. Since that damage was probably holding back a good bit.
Yeah, my only concern on that is if we do have some long green runs and maybe even go caution free, it's going to be difficult for him to get that lap back. But we'll see how it all plays out for him. Hopefully, he gets the break he needs, get back in the lead lap, and be able to utilize the tires and stuff that he has here to gain some position.
As we ride on board with the 84, Cody Dorsey. Remember, he stretches the fuel. We got to remember about Cody. Also, he's in the peak racing for a Cura car here. I gotta love that too. But man, we know Cody up here in the booth, and even our producer Robert Warrior right here said he's gonna run it dry because we'll know he'll stretch the fuel as far as possible. We've seen it multiple times done by him here on Freaky Fast Broadcast. And let's see what he can do fuel mileage wise. Maybe he's the driver that tries to stretch to a point or catches the caution at the right point. I mean, you never know what the way strategies play out. I can tell you, fuel mileage is an interesting game that you can play sometimes out here on the racetrack.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those strategies that you have in the back of your mind to see if you can make it work. So pit road, is not the only strategy, but saving fuel and stretching that out is obviously another key one that you can use to gain positions. I mean, we can pull off a victory. Just kind of keep an eye on Steven. His time's there. We were talking about Hayward catching up to him, and the last couple of laps, Steven was able to have either the same lap times or a little bit quicker than Hayward. But Hayward pulled off this last lap of 32.59. So I don't know if Steven was just trying to cool his tires down, giving some of that time back a little bit, just save his tires and stuff. But Hayward is moving back up and gaining a little more time on him.
Yeah, Hayward's seeming like he's it's one thing to, if you can run that close, in my opinion, you're quicker. So I think Hayward really needs to plan something out here where he needs to be able to get ahead of that 81 or leapfrog him at some point. Ooh, is actually Stimpy, and he's caught up to some lap traffic there as he goes around Keith Hurlbut in the 7. That slowed him up a good bit. This is giving Hayward here a shot to close in, maybe even Chuck Sweeting also. So it's definitely heating up here before the pit stops. And also, what strategy does Hunter Hayward play? I'm telling you, sometimes that is where Hayward has been off. We've seen him have mistakes on strategy before. Could tonight, though, be the way he wins is doing the right call over his teammate, because these guys are teammates up front. They're probably going to know what the other one's going to be doing. But as Hayward's found out, he's been able to get to this point here, David, within a half second. But after that, it stalled him out.
Yeah, and the closer and closer you get, if you're running the same line as the leader, they're just going to tighten up that car, and you couldn't have overheating that left front a little bit more. So yeah, he's got to figure out his game plan and maybe try running at a different line. I'm sure probably what he's working on now is trying different lines to figure out where he's going to be able to gain and make that pass if he does catch up to Steve.
Well, we're watching this battle up front. We're on lap 50 here of the opening 150. Oh, Zelm's going to come down pit road here on lap 50. So this is around when the window I thought was going to be opening up. Here comes Dylan Zelms. He's going to come down from that top 7 position behind Brian Hartwell and bring it down to pit road, get his service done. As the one driver who's really struggling, he's going to hit pit road right now, is Mark Willie. He was almost 9 seconds behind our leader as he comes down pit road now in this 77 machine. His tires fell off a cliff. That man was running 32 or 33 twos to really the leader. Stimpy and Hayward running 32 6s and 5s. So he was upwards of 0.7 a lap slower. It was a struggle for Mark Whitley here tonight at Kentucky.
Yeah, and it's to give this pit stop's to give him an opportunity to take a look at his tire data and see what he's going to need to do different on this next run to take care of his tires and try to make a run back in as we continue to see here the leader Steven maintaining a half-second lead over Hayward.
Yeah, that's a great point you brought there, David, about the tire data we get here on iRacing. Like as yourself as a driver, what would if you're Mark Whitley, what do you do when you look at that tire data? What is the situation that usually plays out in your mind, David, as when you come down pit road if you're struggling like that?
Yeah, so for me, I take a look at not just the tire wear, but how much heat is in that left front, to let you know that okay, maybe I'm pushing it too hard, driving it too deep in the corner, and you want to try and get a good balance between that left and that right front and the right rear. So I think that's what you could be taking a look at to see. Okay, I need to be a little bit more patient. At the start, you might give up a few positions early, but if you take care of your tires, you'll be able to get those positions back, and might be able to chase the leader down a little bit more if you do that. So I think that's what he's going to be taking a look at.
Yeah, it is. I think it's one of the most vital things that we can use as drivers out there is our tire data. I mean, that is one cool thing we get. Real life racers don't get. They get that data from their crew chief saying, "Oh, we measured the tread, this how much tread left." but we get to see individual numbers, percentages, and stuff like that. And that's one of the cool things about sim racing, in my opinion, is you get those, moments where, you're your crew chief, your team, and everything at that moment. You kind of got to analyze your own data while you're out here racing. And I think that's why sim racing is so cool sometimes, especially when you're doing it by yourself out there. You're your whole team at that point, and you got to be making decisions on the fly. Not only, that matter at the end of the day, but those are decisions you're making while you're trying to hit your marks and go as fast as possible.
Yeah, you got a lot of stuff going on, in the car. You're taking a look at, your fuel, as you get closer to the end, if you're going to take a full tank or you're going to shorten that up. And like you said, then you're taking a look at your tire data. There's a lot of stuff going on in the cockpit, in the sim world, and these guys do a really good job being able to look at that data while they're driving, 100 plus miles an hour on these tracks side by side.
Right now, still our leaders attempting to continue to stay out here around this racetrack. 56 laps into the books here at the Kentucky Speedway for the Sim Racing Unleashed Cup Series. As everybody continues to cycle through their pit stops, we're going to head to a quick side-by-side commercial break here as we're going to give a special shout out to our sponsors here. But thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back in a few, and don't tune away. All right, we are back here at the Hannah Hurlbut 220 or Memorial 225 at the Kentucky Speedway here at Sim Racing Unleashes Cup Series. As they all transverse through pit stops, we want to give a special shout out to our sponsor of ButtKicker. ButtKicker, feel what you've been missing. Every game deserves a truly immersive experience. The ButtKicker Gamer 2 lets you feel every detail, from the subtle footsteps to the rumble of a V10 powered race car. By moving to physical mass instead of only air, the Gamer 2 provides instant, accurate, powerful base response, and it's all perfectly in sync with every game with no additional software required. So make sure you head on over to ButtKicker.com and you can use our promo code FreakyFast20 to get 20% off of any purchase there at ButtKicker.com. And remember, that is FreakyFast20 with Freaky 2 E's in the Freaky. So make sure you get that right so you can get 20% off of any purchase there, not only a Gamer 2 or any other product they have there at their website, and you can feel what you've been missing. So thank you to ButtKicker for always being a proud sponsor here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Back out here to the racing action after those pit stops and commercial break. We had their side-by-side action. Hunter Hayward jumps ahead of Steven Stimpy there in that sequence, but it also has pushed Chuck Sweeting to the lead with just how long they waited there, David. This is going to be an interesting scenario. 8 seconds back now is Hunter Hayward and Steven Stimpy.
Yeah, all the pit stops, and I have to say all the guys did a really good job coming on the pit road. I don't see where anybody got any speeding penalties, so great job of the entire got drivers and stuff. But yeah, now Chuck running out front in the first position. But we'll see if Mark is able to chase him down and close that gap up and maybe take the lead.
Yeah, no, be interesting to see Chuck hit road there around lap 54, and Mark hit pit road on 51. So I imagine that gap should grow between those two. Yarrow, he hit pit road there at 51 also, so hit it pretty early for that 9 machine. Zelms also coming down on lap 50. So really Hayward and Stimpy, who waited to lap 61, they're going to have a long charge up to Chuck Sweeting, but it's going to be fun to see how they do that. Zelms battles there past the 58 of Dakota Bryant, who is a lap down there. As you can see in the background there, Steven Stimpy and then Hunter Hayward as they continue to race it. Steven Stimpy comes down pit road first, but Hayward beats him out of his pit box and gets out ahead of him. That was a critical phase there. Now it's going to be key. Can Hayward stay out in front of Stimpy though?
Yeah, talking about what the difference the tires made, just kind of talk a little bit about that. So Mark, who pitted on lap 50, his lap time was a 32:06, and then Hayward, who pitted on lap 60, so 10 laps later, lap time was 31:34. So just gives you an idea of what difference these tires make.
Yeah, we'll see what difference they definitely do make, David. I think it's going to be pretty quickly up there for them, but when they get the Sweeting, will they have enough? That's going to be the question for me. I think Sweeting might have hit that perfect middle point of where you need to pit, not right at lap 50, but a little bit after, because I imagine people are going to be coming around a lap 100. I mean, we're almost 30 laps till that point, so it's not far away already for our next set of pit stops for the guys who pitted at that 50 lap point. Now Zelms, he's getting ready to get attacked by the 48 and 81. Could this be the time when Stimpy can get by? That's the thing. Does Stimpy take advantage of them going through traffic and get by the 48, or does the 48 do a good job of holding on to that lead out in front of everybody?
Yeah, a lot of questions going on here. We'll see how it all plays out here as they're going into turn 1. But just taking a look at Mark Ridley, we're talking about the tire data. All these drivers now get an opportunity to see what their tires look like, and maybe what adjustments they might need to do, maybe backing up their entry, or might be able to afford to go a little bit further into the corner depending on what their tires look like. But be curious to see how Mark is able to if he runs any different during this tire set, and if it does, how does it help him out?
And our producer bringing up to us right now, and I even just noticed it myself, is Chuck Sweeting. We had a scare last week of him having to drop back to the back with the network, and it showed some on at least our ticker right now. It shows him out. I see him on the racetrack right now. He has come back onto the track, but it looks like it's cleared up for him. We're just all nervous wreck right now for Chuck, because it is definitely a scary situation to have your network going out like that while leading the race. You never want to see somebody out front and their hopes and dreams of winning the race go away just because of that. But here, look at this. Willie's the second place man. It's not going to be for long, though, because that 48 and that 81, they are hooked up and training along as they're going to come up now to the inside of this 77 down the back straightaway. Here is Hunter Hayward in the 48. He's going to look to take second place back, and his teammate Steven Stimpy going to look to follow him through.
Yeah, Mark's not really going to be able to hold these two guys off, and these two guys just not racing each other. Staying in line. I think they're going to be working together to chase down that leader and then save the racing between each other later on.
Oh man, Mark Willie, he's got to be saying, it's not my day here as the two drivers ahead of him storm forward in this 81, this 48. They're right under 3 seconds now, Chuck Sweeting. Sweeting's times, though, 32:37. Back to Hunter Hayward, 31:60. So I think that this may be an easy pass for these drivers as they get closer and closer. So it's just seeming like those new tires, it going longer is been a beneficial way to go so far.
Yeah, and when you're driving, you're trying to think, okay, is this going to be a 2-stop, 3-stop? When am I going to pit? Everybody comes up with a different number, a different strategy and stuff, and sometimes it works out, and sometimes you just outthink yourself as a driver. So we still got a long ways to go. Things can definitely change in a moment. On one caution, and it changes all that. But I think some of these drivers are going to want that caution so they can reset their game plan and make those adjustments.
Even Stippy is still glued to the back bumper of Hunter Hayward. But I tell you what, Chuck Sweeting, our leader, he's in mega traffic. Man, he is all covered up by driver's series. He's got the 70 of Chamberlain up high, the 73, the 58. Multiple drivers there. I mean, Larry Blair, Dakota Bryant, lap cars all around as the Bryant actually just got his lap back by passing Sweeting. This is not helping Sweeting here as those two behind him continue to close up now, 1.6 seconds back, and they even got traffic with the 19 Jim Kolmsberger.
Yeah, then Chuck's gonna have a little more difficult time with the traffic than what we see with Steven and Hunter, because with those guys having fresher tires, they'll be able to move the car much better and work their way around traffic much quicker, you would suspect.
Oh, you just seen it from there. That was a moment and a half there for the 19 of Jim Kolmsberger and the 81 of Steven Stippian. I about passed out from that moment. That was a wild one. He checked up so much, and Stippian had to make an evasive maneuver there to get by him as he lost a little bit of time, able to now regain a little bit back up to Hunter Hayward here as they're about to break within under a second to our leader, Chuck Sweeting.
Yeah, I saw the same thing you did, and fortunately Steven's got some quick hands and was able to maneuver his car around it. But yeah, what a moment for him.
As you see now, Stippian taking advantage here, trying to get to the inside of Hunter Hayward. Just cannot get there though, as they continue to march forward. The lap times are getting closer though, David.
They are getting closer, and Steven's lost a little bit of time there with that previous car, but he's made it back, and right there on the tail of Hunter Hayward. So again, it's going to be, does the lap traffic end up playing a part in how he's able to get around Hunter Hayward, or does Hunter Hayward use the lap traffic to keep Steven behind him?
I tell you what, that was 3 wide there for a vote for Dave Bush, the 73 Larry Blair, and Hunter Hayward as they go by. Now, this battle continues to heat up almost with under a half second now. Up to Chuck Sweeting, lap 77. Sweeting's done a good job to hold on to it to this point, but I think once they get there, it's going to be undeniable. Those newer tires are just looking so good here late in the going. We'll see how it works out for them though.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch Steven's entry. It looks like he's turning in a little bit sooner than Hunter Hayward, so got to be wondering, it's good to keep that air on the nose, but also the downside to that is that you're going to overheat those tires a little bit more. So be curious to see if he has any repercussions from taking that line that he's running. But you definitely have to do something. I think he's searching to see where he's going to be able to gain, and if he can get that nose in there before Hayward makes a turn, he might give him the opportunity to make the pass.
And what a dive that was from the 81 to the 48. I think that was well timed between the teammates there. They had the run down the back straightaway, dive to the inside of the 75 of Chuck Sweeting. And now Hayward back out front in the 48 machine. Even Stippy in the second. He said, I want to get back to the lead. We'll see though. We saw that Hayward was the one that was really quick on the long runs, ran up to about a half second within him and just couldn't do anything from there. Who's going to have the advantage now as Hayward has the lead? Here comes Steven, though. What a drive into 3. He's definitely really trying to get aggressive on that entry.
Yep, washed up a little bit there on exit, but just doing a great job putting the pressure on Hayward. To kind of makes you wonder if Hayward's going to be driving out of his rearview mirror or if he's just sitting his lines and just let everything play out. But Steven doing everything he needs to do early on to stay with the leader and try to set himself up.
It'll be fun to see how he tries to set it all up as Whitley. He's dropped back now into the clutches of Michael Yarrow here in this 9 machine. We'll see exactly what Yarrow has here for Mark Whitley, but man, Whitley's had a tough night so far. Not the night I'm sure he's wanted here at Kentucky, but nonetheless, he still has 2 wins this season, so he started off with a good little start. He can have these, not as good a days as he's normally used to.
Yeah, and we're gonna have another round of pit stops coming up, sometime, and that'll be the money stop for everybody to, try and make it clean and see where they're able to shake out. But the top 3 guys just doing a phenomenal job. Got from 3rd to 4th place. You got a 5-second lead. So Chuck falling back, but he's still in a good spot.
Yeah, definitely still in a good spot. A lot of these drivers here as we continue to stay green here at the Kentucky Speedway. What a long green flag this has been. 82 laps straight since the start of this race. Sim Racing Unleashed definitely keeping it nice and clean here tonight with this Gen 6 Cup Series car. Again, thank you all for tuning in as always here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. But if you haven't yet, make sure you hit that thumbs up button to let us know as, oh man, that's some wild stuff here happening around the night too. And our producer says he heard a downshift. I'm gonna have to go look at that. I don't understand how that could happen, but man.
Yeah, I've never known to try the downshift on this track here, so maybe you had a little issue there and accidentally downshifted, but fortunately it didn't bring out any caution or cause any issues.
Hey, I can confirm it is shifting in 3 and 4. Definitely an interesting scenario. I would have never in all my time on iRacing say, hey man, we're going to be shifting in 3 and 4 in Kentucky. I am, man, what is going on?
Yeah, kind of hard to explain. I've never seen it done here, and I guess we'll find out if it ends up working out for him. But just don't see the long-term advantage of doing that.
I tell you what, watching him do it, it seems to actually be helping him turn in 3 and 4. He's struggling right now with the front end there, and he's doing it. He's definitely he's downshifting, man. But the thing is, the big thing I'm noticing is he can't get close enough out of 2 here, just with that dirty air. He goes down here into 3 and 4 and shifts right there, gets back at the guys, then back up the 4th. And it, personally, David, like that's helping him turn, but I don't think it's helping him carry momentum because he's having to shift within the first 3 to 4 seconds after downshifting, and that you're not going to get too much momentum build up doing that.
Yeah, again, I don't think I've ever seen that at any track of this size here, the downshift. But it kind of makes you wonder too. It is surprising that he's able to keep that car under control. It doesn't look like it's causing the rear end to kick out, but is it causing more heat in the tires and especially the right rear? If it's going to cause some issues for him later on, or maybe even some issues with his motor. Running at 9,600 RPM lap after lap, as to whether these cars can keep up that kind of pressure on the engine.
That is a great point there, David. I mean, that's a new one for me. That is a definite new one for me. Michael Yarrow, he's just new things out here, ladies and gentlemen. You can shift it Kentucky. So definitely a wild scenario. Yeah, my producer just said this in the ear too. I gotta steal the words from him. It's not recommended, I would say. Don't say you went out. Don't go do a official race out there and say Freaky Fast Broadcast said you need to shift to 3 and 4, because I don't know how Yarrow's doing it, but he is getting it done right now. Though, oh wow, he just had a big moment off of 2 there. It's just glad to avoid that there, lap 88. The battle for the lead, it's heating up. The teammates, it's we can get them out there, get the pepper emojis out there, because it's getting spicy right now. Stippy's been taking a few stabs at the back bumper of this 48. And let's see if the young man in this 48 can hold off the wily old veteran.
Yeah, Stevens, saying, hey, I know you won this last year, but I'm going to try and make sure I give you everything I got and make sure you don't win it this year. So, be interesting to see how this finishes out as they approach some more lap traffic.
Yeah, and as they approach this lap traffic, do you think this is his best chance, David? Like, how is, we've seen once the leader gets out pro a lot of times with this package, it's hard to get by the leader. He has a big advantage with the arrow. You kind of almost got to hope for a mistake. What's it going to take for Steven to get around this 48, you think?
Yeah, I think that, really depending on when Hunter Hayward catches this traffic, it could definitely make it interesting for Steven to be able to close that gap up and maybe give him a lane if Hunter Hayward's having to check up. So, depends on how Hunter Hayward catches these guys and where he's able to pass. But it's going to be difficult. As you can see, there's 3 cars, low, mid, and high. So it's taking a lot of the lanes away for Hunter Hayward to try and make a pass.
That it is. This is Clifton Ashley, Dakota Bryant, the 12 of Kevin Roy, the 14 of Brad Delph, all on the tail end of the lead lap, and they're all racing. That's the thing. This is different than catching the car all by himself. As you're going to see right here off of turn 2, it's going to be the first one, Clifton Ashley up for the 48. Is this the chance, though, for the battle for the lead here as they go down the 3? It's going to be a stack up down here.
Yeah, Hunter Hayward able to clear the 10, so he caught him at the right time to be able to make that pass. But now he's going to be held up just a little bit here on exit off Alpha 4 and coming across the line there. So we'll see what happens here going to turn 1.
Oh, man, this is going to get very interesting now. Dakota Bryant on the outside, the 48 of Hunter Hayward trying to make his way through here as the leader. Steven Stippian, if he sets this up right, he could be the man trying to get the lead from the 48 down the back straightaway. Dead even heat between him and the 58. They're all battling for position here as the leaders are trying to come through tight on the bottom here. The 48 just cannot get it done. This is definitely a wild scenario we got going on here. Drivers trying to stay on the lead lap. Drivers battling for a win.
And I think that what Steven needs to make sure he doesn't do is just stare at the bumper of Hunter Hayward. Run your line. If Hunter Hayward gets caught, on the inside of the left-down car, run your line to be able to get that best arc in there and close that gap up. But that's right now we see Steven having the battle between those 58 and the 10 car.
Yeah, this is not helping right here as the 58 and the 6, or I'm sorry, the 10, they pushed each other. Now Stippian, look at this, he's going to lose out here. The big runs from the lap cars there around the outside, this is just showing it's hard stuff to pass. They caught these guys like they were standing still. They've got here now, and it's really been somewhat of a traffic affair here between these drivers as it's really starting to heat up. Hayward was able to get by Dakota Bryant, but as you see, Steven Stippian's out of our picture because he just wasn't able to get by there. Kevin Roy and Brad Delph almost making contact there. This is still a very interesting moment here. Stippian now gets the inside of the 58. The 12 cuts down in front of the 48. This is lap traffic not playing nice.
Yeah, they're going to race. They got every right to race and try and stay on the lead lap and not fall behind. So they're going to race hard to try and stay on that lead lap. But the good thing is they're all racing clean, but they're giving the leaders a lane to run. Might not be the lane they want, but they are giving them a place to go.
That they are. It's just the old adage, It's one thing to catch him, but one thing to pass him is there goes Stippian by 58 of Bryant. But he gets the side draft on him off the corner and just pulls him right back. And I'm telling you, as a driver, that is one of the more interesting things to have you feel. Is you get the runoff on a driver, and they just get to that quarter panel and they pull you right back to where you were. And Kevin Roy doing that to Hunter Hayward. Now look at this. This may be Steven Stippian's chance to get the lead here. He jumps to the outside of 48, but he looks like he's going to play nice there. Let the 48 by the 12 here. Hopefully they get the power down because off of 4 here, the 48 going to slide up. The 81 going to follow him. What a wild moment there. They still got Brad Delph to get through, but now they've went through 3 of the lap cars. That is just a great racing there, though, between everybody right there.
There was very good racing, and we saw there where Hunter Hayward just didn't have the exit lane there for the car on the outside, and that allowed Steve to close it up a little bit more. But then coming into the next turn, then Steven didn't have the outside lane to be able to move his car up. But Steven just doing a great job being right on the bumper of Hunter Hayward.
Yeah, right on the bumper for sure as he got almost into the back bumper of the 48 there, down to 3 and 4. The question is, when do these guys hit pit road? He hit pit road on 61, and I don't imagine him staying out to 120. That is just, far-fetched, I think, to try to do that 30 laps to run everybody back down. I think that, 105, 110 is probably going to be the mark here. I tell you what, though, the 70 just checked it all up. Here comes Stippian to the inside of the 48. Don't know if he'll be able to get it done. Chamberlain up into the outside wall.
Yeah, up in the highlight, just trying to probably stay out of everybody's way there. But Yeah, I won't be surprised to see some of you guys pitted earlier because we went down pit road a few laps. But these guys here, we saw earlier they're going to run it much farther. But yeah, I would suspect maybe around lap 120 we can see these guys get that as well.
Oh man, this is getting fun to watch as most of the field is spread out. Our top three within 2 seconds of each other. Like I said, Chuck Sweden, he's going to hold on pretty well to about 2 seconds back from these guys since he's got passed. But Mark Whitley about 8 seconds back from there. Another 15 back to Dylan Zelms, 17 to Brandon Hartwell. As right now our top 9 are all on the lead lap is Delph and James Bryant. They're the next 2 in the list here to possibly get lapped as we're looking at Cody Dorsey here in the 7th position. He's coming off a 2 while the leaders are coming out 2 now. So he's got about a straightaway lead back to his leaders as Zelms. First one to hit pit road again. He hit it on lap 50, and right now I'm going to hit it on lap 100.
Yeah, and been having a great race so far, up 11 positions. So just a good run for him, and another good run for James Bryant, who's up 13 positions, and Kevin Roy, who's up also 13 positions.
A lot of big climbers through the field. Our leader in some heavy traffic, James Bryant, Brad Delph in the 14. They're all running up on Steven Stippian. He's going to take advantage of this. He's going to take the position from Hunter Hayward and take the lead through the lap traffic. And this is exactly what Hayward didn't want to play out. It was side-by-side lap cars, and now the 81 of Stippian by the 48 of Hunter Hayward.
Just kind of what we were talking about earlier, right? Just trying to be able to see when you caught the lap traffic. And, for Steven, he caught the lap traffic at the right time, utilized that position there to make the move, and Hayward just didn't get the lap traffic at the right time and ended up costing him a position. So we'll see if he can work his way back up. But he's still fighting that car coming out of turn 2 here.
Yeah, trying to get by Brad Delph, who is not helping there a little bit. The side draft as he clears him. And man, oh man, that was a tough pass for these guys to get done. But right now, our top 5, the only cars holding the lead lap here as pit stops are going to start to, start popping off here in the next few laps, David. This is going to be interesting. When does Hayward, when does Stippian pit? They pitted with each other last time. Who can get the pit stop done the best is going to be critical here down the very end.
Yeah, definitely going to be critical in this last lap. 32.50 for Steven, 32.67, for Hunter Hayward. I was just going to be a little curious as to how that was going to work, what kind of tires, Steven was going to have after he made the pass. Generally, you get a little bit tighter when you're following somebody lap after lap, and so far it's shown that his tires are looking pretty good for him.
2/3 of the race down, 1/3 left to go. Who's going to be able to pull it off here tonight at the Kentucky Speedway? Steven Stippian trying to go back to back after winning last week in Indianapolis. Hunter Hayward trying to make his return and make it in a big way here and get a victory, as these two have been lights out. Chuck Sweeting trying to go for another top 3 in that 75 machine. The top 3, though, have been lights out here. Is back all the way to Mark Whitley, about 9.2 seconds. He's still running the top 4. That's the big thing Whitley can't let get away from him. Hasn't had the greatest speed here tonight compared to his top competition here up front, but he'll still be able to come home with a good points night and maybe come out of here with at least a close gap to the points leader.
Yeah, and speaking of points, Jason Adams, who's running 3rd in points right now, sitting 11th spot. He's up 14 positions, but currently the second car 1 lap down.
Yeah, now you got to give credit to Jason again. Another good climb through the field like he did the last time we were out here. I mean, he literally climbed through the field a really good portion of Indianapolis. Now doing the same thing again here in Kentucky. It seems to be somewhat of a trend here for Jason Adams to climb through the field slowly as the day goes on and get a good solid finish as he's going to try to break into that top 10 at some point.
Yeah, and that's the big key, to be able to make a playoff run is, being able to run consistently. You don't have to go out there and win every race, but if you can run consistently, get those top 10, top 5 finishes, it'll get you into that first stage of that playoff run.
All about consistency for sure here early in the regular season before we head to the playoffs. Drivers all trying to find that here at the Kentucky Speedway. It's been a great night so far up here in the booth. 107 laps into this as pit stops are continuing to go down here in the next few laps. We're going to head to another quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with you, everybody, in the next few moments. Enjoy our side-by-side action. All right, we're back here, ladies and gentlemen, as pit stops are starting to transpire here at the Kentucky Speedway for the Sim Racing Unleashed Cup Series. We want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting, the McConey Setup Shop. The McConey Setup Shop is your home for iRacing setups and the official setup shop of the Richmond Raceway Esports team. From everything from legends to cup cars, they've got you covered. Dirt setups for late models, modified, and wing sprints are also available for the dirt side. So you can head on over to their website at www.mcconeysetupshop.com today, where you can also get coaching lessons for just $25 an hour from drivers such as eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series champion Zach Novak, his teammate Jimmy Mullis, River Hayes, and many more are also available at the McConey Setup Shop. And remember to use our promo code FFB10 to get 10% off of any purchase there of a setup at the McConey Setup Shop. So make sure you head on over there. And at the McConey Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victory. So thank you all for tuning in here tonight at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Back to the racing action out here on the racetrack. Steven Stimpy and Hunter Hayward still out here not electing to pit yet, David. This is an interesting call again from them, as the rest of their competition, other than Mark Whitley, has been.
Yeah, definitely a good run. And what we're seeing here is it looks like Hayward's really backing up his corners, was just giving him a great run from the center off and able to close that gap up on Steven. So now we have this car. This car here is going to make it a little more challenging for Hayward there. Lose a little more time, but yeah, that's the last lap of Washington. He was backing up his corners, which really was helping him on the center off.
Yeah, definitely. So as Whitley now hits pit road in the 77 machine. Great timing for him here on 115 to come down to get service done on that race car, as Stimpy tries to stretch the gap back to his young teammate Hunter Hayward here before they pit stop. I'm surprised Hunter Hayward hasn't tried to maybe undercut his teammate. I know they're probably trying to work together with strategy, but at some point they're pretty good, far bit ahead of the rest of the competition. He's got to go for that race against his teammate here mentality, and we'll see when they do it. But still, I like them to go far. Wait until 30 to go is maybe what they're going to do here, David. I don't know about this, man.
That's a good point that you brought up with the gap that they have over third place. That might be a really good play for Hayward to try. I don't know if they'll do it or not, but he could definitely work out his advantage to give it a shot. He doesn't have a lot to lose right now.
Definitely so. As we're riding on board here, Hunter Hayward has been losing the gap back to his teammate, and the time is just not looking as good. And even behind him, you got the 75 of Chuck Sweeten coming into the picture with his car really starting to make a move through. So good timing for him, as he's already made that pit stop. We'll see how far he comes ahead. He didn't lose much time to him in that whole sequence last time. Chuck times this right. He could pull this off.
Yeah, he definitely could, and whether he'll be able to keep it during the rest of the long run, will remain to be seen. But as we see here, him getting ready to catch the leader and unlap himself.
And look at this, here goes Chuck Sweeting to the inside of our leader, Steven Stimpian, trying to get that lap back, put himself up onto the lead lap. Now in the third place is Stimpian, as slid back after getting passed by him. It's let Hayward close the gap down here. I imagine pit stop's got to be happening soon from these two, especially once they see Chuck Sweeten is passing. Yeah, I think this time they're coming down. The top two are hitting pit road. Hunter Hayward and Steven Stimpy come down. Can Hunter Hayward get by him here? He did it last time. Kind of locked up the rear there, not trying to run the back a step. But, man, can he get it done here on pit road back by him?
Yeah, great job coming into the pit lane there. Like you said, he did have to really slow that car down to keep him going into the back of Steve, but gained quite a bit of time there, closing the gap. So we'll see how this pit stop works out. Who has a better pit stop, and then how does the gap shake out once they come off pit road.
Looks like a more aggressive pit entry for Hunter Hayward. He was very much taking the chances of sliding through the box, where it looks like Steven Stimpian took a much more gentle approach. And I tell you what, also that last pit box, not the greatest pit box, because you're trying to put the power down. Here they come off a pit road. Oh, man. Stimpian said, I don't like your code, get out the way. Yes, he takes off and goes. That was an interesting scenario there. Hayward kind of looks like he kind of gave in and let Steven have it there. We'll see what he can do here in the final 30 laps of this race, but they're going to have to catch up, though, now to Chuck Sweeting, who now they're in 3 and 4. Chuck Sweeting, he is going down into 1.
Yeah, fortunately, no caution for debris on the track after hitting that cone and throwing it up there. But, yeah, good pit stop for those two guys. Their pit time is let's see, looking at Hunter Hayward is a 15:05. So good, pretty good decent time for the pit stop. A little bit longer than his previous one. But now all the pit stops have been done, so we got 30 laps to go to see how this all shakes out and whether, if they have enough time to chase down the leader.
At the moment, though, Yarrow, too. Only 5 seconds back. He's pretty far ahead of Steven Stippy and them, but this is going to be an interesting turn of events here with Chuck Sweeting pitting there around. Let's see, he hit pit road at lap 106, so it's going to be a big difference on the tires. We'll see how long it takes him to close them down, but man, that gap is a sizable margin. We'll have to see how the timing works out too with 30 to go. I mean, I like the call, but also it's a risk for Stippian and Hayward, I also believe.
Yeah, definitely the last lap time there for Chuck was a 32:25, and for Steven it was a 30:84. So, they could close this gap down pretty quick with those kind of lap times.
They definitely could, that's for sure. As we're looking at 52 of James Bryan last week, tried to stretch the fuel at Indianapolis. Here this week on this long run. Right now, I've broken into that top 10, started from the 20th position, so up 10 spots for him. Really one of our biggest movers all day for sure. Him and Jim Kolmsberger, who's started 24th up to 12th. I mean, a lot of big movers throughout this whole entire field, as right now 8 drivers on the lead lap.
Yeah, and keeping an eye on Mark Whitley there. It's running P6, so just not don't look like it's going to be the night that he was hoping for. But now you just got to try and salvage your day here, get as much points as you possibly can.
Definitely a day to get as many points as possible for Whitley. It's just not been his best one pace-wise, but I think he'll be able to still bring home a good, solid finish here to get some good points. As he elected to stay out a good bit longer than he did on the first run. Now it's going to give him the chance to pass Wheels. Now he goes by Zelms there and trying to take 5th from him as they're side by side. He'll break back into the top 5. He's going to have to try to catch Yarrow and Sweeting. If not, it looks like 5th maybe where Whitley lies tonight.
Yeah, and we haven't had any cautions so far, but it doesn't mean we don't have a caution, right? We're coming to the end of the race, so everybody's going to be trying to get whatever position they can. So we have a few cars that are running pretty close side by side. So it's still possible we have a late caution, and if it does, it changes everything back up.
73-5 making contact. It was almost a big event there between these two. Possibly could have been our first yellow of the night, but they keep it straight and green here at the moment. Zelms running in 6th. Larry Blair there in the 13th position, 1 lap down. Definitely shook things up as now Dippian looks like Yarrow. I'm not sure what happened to Yarrow there. He dropped back pretty quickly there now. Is back to 4th with Hayward up to 3rd, Stippian up to 2nd. 5 seconds, though, is the gap up to Chuck Seaton with 25 to go. I think they're going to be able to close it all down, but, man, I think it's going to be, 15 to go when they get to it.
Yeah, I just kind of watching the ticker there, and the time, the gap there is closing pretty quickly with Stippian and Chuck. So with 24 laps to go, plenty of time for him to catch up. The question is going to be Hunter Hayward a little bit over a second behind on Stippian, so he lost some time somewhere, whether it was coming out pit road or just the way they caused some traffic. But so we'll have to see if Hunter Hayward is able to close that gap.
Definitely so. With 24 to go, it's going to be an interesting battle between our top 3 as Yarrow starting to fall back farther and farther as he pitted much earlier there. He's going to try to hold on to that 4th position, though. Back to Mark Whitley is about another about 7 seconds. So he's got a sizable gap back to Mark Whitley. It's just going to be key to see if he can hold off that gap. So it's going to be tough for Yarrow. But I tell you what, if he comes to the top 4, I'm pretty sure he'll be pretty happy with how the night played out.
Yeah, and James Bryant having another good run, sitting 9th position, gained 11 spots. And then Cordy Dorsey sitting in the 8th position, who's picked up 6 positions.
And we also got to bring up too, next week we won't be live here on Sunday nights. It will be Halloween. So happy early Halloween to everybody. Next Sunday is we won't be live here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. These guys are going to be off. And I can already hear it now. My producer is just thinking all different types of thoughts about Candy right now. We may have ruined him for the night now. I messed up and I started talking about Halloween. Man, definitely. Well, I can tell you what, this guy up here, Robert Jr., loves candy. If there's one thing about him, he definitely loves the candy. So, can't wait for Halloween. Definitely special time here at Freaky Fast, but also a special time out there for everybody going trick or treating. So make sure you have fun and definitely stay safe out there while you do that. And man, we can't wait to see if everybody having a good time doing that. As you see there now, Stippian going by Dorsey there in the 84 machine. He continues to charge up about a second up to Chuck Sweeting. He's already there almost. 21 to go, man. Those new tires, they just catch up so fast. And it looks like just taking it long has just been the way to go. So definitely an interesting scenario there as you see Stippian take the lead here with 20 to go. What a job by him. But again, not going to be live here again next week. So next race we got is in 2 weeks at Gateway. Stippian going to be going to try if go for 3 in a row if he can pull off this thing here in the last 20 laps. Not going to jinx him or nothing, but he's got a good shot at it.
Yeah, and he's having a really fantastic run here after he got his last set of tires, and now his time over Hayward is 1.8 seconds. So yeah, he somehow was able to find another gear and not only chase down the leader, but also stretch it out over Hayward, where those two guys were racing bumper to bumper for quite a bit of time.
Yeah, my question here is going to be, did he just push too hard? Will Hayward have a shot to get back up there? There's a lot of questions I think still to be answered as we look now at our last man on the lead lap. That's Brandon Hartwell in the 7th position. He's about 24 seconds back. Started 6th tonight, running in the 7th position. Looks like he possibly will be able to catch Dylan Zelms, who's running at about a half a second slower per lap than him and about 3 seconds up the road. So he'll be looking to try to get back up to 6th, but kind of a quiet night here for Brandon Hartwell.
Yeah, looking at the lap times between Steven and Hunter Hayward. Steven ran a 31.87, and Hunter Hayward running 31.93.
Very interesting to see. Stippian still controlling the pace out front with 18 to go. Will he be able to go for back-to-back victories? And what a way that would be to start the season. As you see Hunter Hayward here, he got by Chuck Sweeting, but the problem for him is he's got Jason Adams in this 24 fighting really hard with him here on the newer tires, who right now looks like Jason Adams 2 laps down in the 16th position. He's trying to get some of his laps back, but right now it's kind of holding Hayward up, racing with him.
It is, but again, these drivers have every bit to race as hard as they can on fresh tires and stuff, and it's just unfortunate that it's costing Hunter Hayward some time as he's almost 2 seconds back now.
As he continues to race behind the 24 machine. 16 to go. He's going to have to start making inroads on his teammate if he wants to have a shot at him. Also got Dave Bush, teammate to Hunter Hayward up there. Also in the 15th position. That's going to be a pass for Jason Adams. 4th position for him on Dave Bush, who has not had the best night here in Kentucky after qualifying up in that 4th position. Just has fell back considerably throughout the race and just hasn't had the pace that he needed here tonight. So unfortunate for Dave Bush, our winner at Daytona. But again, like I was alluding to, we go to Daytona, Dave Bush wins. Then the next 2 races, Whitley pulls it off. And then Steven Stippian winning last week. Could this be the 2-in-a-row streak we start seeing for drivers later this season? Right now, Stippian trying to do the same as Mark.
I was quite curious here as we're watching Hunter Hayward to see if he was going to be able to use that car's draft to try and close that gap up with Stippian, but really hasn't been able to help him at all to close that gap, and he's still hovering around 2 seconds. So that car of the 24, just that draft that he's getting from him, just not helping him out at all. If anything, might be making him a little bit tight.
Yeah, definitely. I think he was saying, I wish 24 would get a little farther up the road from me, hopefully. And then maybe, that draft would really start to help him. Seems like that half-second margin is just where you really start to struggle. And, it's definitely interesting. Gotta give iRacing credit for the realism behind Dirty Air. We see this each and every week at tracks all around the NASCAR circuit where drivers, are complaining about that. And I tell you what, I've heard a few drivers, such as Anthony Alfredo, he streams a lot of iRacing and stuff. he says that, it's a pretty good representation that iRacing does, and he says it's actually worse in real life. So I think with the dirty air I feel out there on the racetrack, if it was make the car handle any worse, I think I'd be pretty frustrated. So I can only imagine what guys go through in these races sometimes with dirty air. But it is cool that iRacing, does a good job at least making it pretty realistic like that.
Yeah, I think it's great to make it like you said, make it as realistic as possible to have that effect in the car, and just forces you as the driver to try and work within it and try to take a different line to keep that dirty air from really affecting you. But with 12 to go here, Hunter Hayward cut it down just a little bit, but I just don't think he's going to have enough time to try and close this gap up.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think I agree with you. Also, I just don't know if there's enough time. Problem is, he's also got to get back by Jason Adams. Right now, seems to be falling off the pace. That is one thing that will happen sometimes. You get drivers that come out on new tires, they'll get by you, and then they start to struggle with pace in front of you, and then you're quicker again. So it's one of those things. Is we had a car dart across the screen. I think that might have been Keith Hurlbut in the 7 machine, possibly. Oh yeah, he had a major moment there on the back straightaway. He got loose coming out too, caught the wall. Luckily, he's able to keep it straight as Steven Stiffy was going to put him a lap down there.
Yeah, great job just being able to keep that car straight, but definitely hard contact with the wall. He was like shot down inside, so just unfortunate handling there. But yeah, 10 laps to go, and you gotta give a hats off to Steve. Just a fantastic job he's done all race long. I mean, he was the fastest in practice, and just being able to keep that car up front. They lost it for a little bit of time, but he's been the front runner, 1, 2, 3 spots all race long. So he definitely figured something out on this track, even for long runs. And you're looking at the lap times here, just see Steven and Hayward, 32:37 for Cynthia and 32:32 for Hunter Hayward. You had a little bit quicker lap than Steven, but I just don't think that should be enough. He's going to need a lot more, and only 9 laps to go. So Chuck Lee just doing a great job holding off third place. And then Mark, Yarrow, you got to give credit to him. He's done a fantastic job all race to keep that car in the top 5.
That he has, and sorry about that, David. Actually, I had to mute going there, so my bad. I was getting caught up a little bit, but definitely an interesting ending here. Sweeting, like you said, going to be looking to bring home third. Is Yarrow? He's definitely getting close with Whitley behind, and we'll see if Whitley can close it down. But right now, the times between those two are pretty close. We'll have to see if he can get it done. But I think Stippian, he's going to have enough gap, even though Hayward's starting to turn a little bit quicker laps each and every lap. 7 to go, though. That's not going to be enough time.
Yeah. This is where his car is really going to be a little bit better than Stippian. It's just a little bit too late, I think. But if we have a late caution, then it just kind of changes everything. But this has been a caution-free race so far, and it's got the signs going all the way through being caution-free.
That it does. Is been a very clean race to say, David. Got to commend these guys on going 150 laps from this drop of the green flag almost down to the end here. Now that I said that, I'm definitely going to jinx it. But you can see there, Dylan Zelms in the 5. He's the first car lap down in 7th. Here goes Hunter Hayward trying to get by him. And, oh, man, that was close between the 5 and the 48 there. I think the 5 just got up into the wall. And, whoo, the 48 squeaked by with the, as small a margin as you could have.
Yeah, that was close. I don't know if Hunter Hayward saw that or not, but if he watches the replay, he's going to have a reaction to that for sure. But fortunately, he didn't make contact and able to continue on. But 5 laps to go, and just losing ground, just not able to make that difference up. I thought he might be able to make something happen here towards the end, but just not able to make it happen. So Steve Tippy sitting in the catbird seat here to bring home another win.
That he is looking for 2 in a row. Gap almost up to 2 seconds. 4 laps for him just to do now as we close in on the end of this race. What a race it's been for that 81. He's been on fire. It seems like here tonight, being able to really turn it around after last week. Was kind of scratching his head, even though it ended up in victory lane, was kind of scratching his head saying, man, I just can't get to the 77. I know he said he was a little frustrated even at some points. Now tonight, it's been all about him as he is put on a clinic, dominated from start to finish, started out front, and he's looking to get it done here with 3 to go.
Yeah, looking at the points as well. Steve Stimpy, we've been talking about him just the season he's been having. He's had 4 top 5s. He hasn't had an outside the top 5 finish so far, and here he is leading this lap here. And even though Mark's got 2 wins to the season, but he's had 3 top 5 finishes, 1 top 10 finish. So that's where the point difference is. But close points battle so far between these guys. But I think Steve Stimpy, if he pulls off this win, just like he's going to, we're gonna see him kind of stretch out that point lead.
Yeah, he's looking to definitely build on that. And last season he was kicking himself. He had such a good season, but just did not make every single race and was not able to compete for a championship. It could all change though this season. Already looking strong from the start. Steven Stimpion's going to round out of turn 3 and 4 here. And he's going to look up to the flag stand and see the white flag, the Freaky Fast white flag. 1 to go here at the Kentucky Speedway. If you want to have your name or logo up on our white flag lap, make sure you hit us up on our social media so we can get something done. But Steven Stippian, 1 to go. He comes out of 2, looking for back-to-back victories. It's been a clean clinic here tonight, 150 laps green here at the Kentucky Speedway. He's going to round out of turn 3 and 4 one final time. Steven Stippian, he's going to go back-to-back here at the Sim Racing Unleashed Cup Series, win number 2 here this season.
What a great race for Steven. Mark Whitley having those 2 championships, wins and trying to go for his 3rd. And Steven Stippian saying, hold on, I got something to say about that. And he's showing it already early this season.
That he is. What a win it was for Steven Stippian. Good run for Hunter Hayward to bring home 2nd, and another top 3 for Chuck Sweeten as he brings home 3rd. Looks like Whitley was able to get Yarrow in the last few minutes to pull off 4th, and Michael Yarrow around our top 5. There is the top 6 will all finish on the lap as Hartwell crosses the line. What a night it was here at the Kentucky Speedway. Steven Stippian is going to come down here and celebrate on the front straightaway. Steven Stippian is your winner here tonight at Kentucky.
Great performance by him, and he was just the guy to beat all race long. So did a great job keeping his car clean, making great pit stops. Just a phenomenal job by him, and Hunter Hayward as well. Yeah, he ended up leading a little bit short, but just another great run between the 2 guys. And had some guys up here, Clifton Ashley finishing up in the 9th spot, game 12 spot, and Kevin Roy finishing in the top 10, another 12 spot game.
Yeah, some great runs all around here throughout the field. Look at Steven Stippian celebrate his victory here tonight at Kentucky. We'll be back in a few moments, ladies and gentlemen, as we get our top 3 up here to have a chat with them about their run here tonight at the Kentucky Speedway. We'll be back in a few. All right, we are back here, everybody, with the Sim Racing Unleashed Cup Series after a 150 laps green here at the Kentucky Speedway. Our third place man is going to be Chuck Sweeten, so we're going to get a quick chat in here with him to talk about his another top three finish up here at SRU, showing good strength already early in the going in that 75. Hey, Chuck, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, man.
Hey Zach, how's it going?
It's going good, man. I tell you what, good to see you out front again here tonight, man, after a good run at Indianapolis. Luckily, didn't have to go from the back to the front, man, but you were able to keep it up there most of the majority of the night. Really on a different strategy than the two leaders there. Kind of take us through your race, man, because you definitely kept us on our toes with the strategy here.
Yeah, we got about halfway through that first 50 laps. Hunter and Steven were just better than me at saving their right front. The setup was really tight, and I hate that, and I'm not very good with it, and they were pulling away from me, so I just decided to just split the race into thirds and hope I would come out ahead at some point if there was a caution or whatever. But they were just better than me all night long, so congrats to them. But yeah, I gave it my all. Third place isn't too bad.
That it is, man. Definitely a good run nonetheless here, and you've been keeping yourself up in the top three here majority of the races here at SRU, so that's a good start for you, man. We do have an off week here next week for Halloween, but then we head off the Gateway. Kind of a different racetrack. Not a lot of times we see the Cup cars going to the Worldwide Technology Racetrack. So, how do you feel about heading off into there? You got any experience there?
I have some experience in the Xfinity car and in the trucks, but not in the Cup car. So that's going to be interesting. That's a really tough track because one end's so tight, and then the other end you got to roll some speed, and you can snap loose coming off the corner so easy. And straightaways are kind of narrow, or the front straightaway is anyway. And you got a downshift usually. I will see what kind of gears these things have in them, but most likely we'll be downshifting going into one and then upshifting down the backstretch. So a lot of work and a lot of technical aspects to driving there. So it'd be interesting.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a fun one to watch, man. Like you said, not a lot of experience there with the Cup car there, so we should see something definitely special and out of the ordinary, man. But good run tonight for you, Chuck. Before we let you get out here and go get ready for 2 weeks at Gateway, man. Anybody wants to send a shout out to?
Just thanks to the league and um, you guys for doing the broadcasts, all the admins, all the work they do, and it's fun running with guys that race with respect and all that. So it was it's appreciated.
That definitely is, Chuck. Well, thank you for coming out here tonight, man. Putting on a good show for us. You have a wonderful night, Chuck, and we'll catch you in 2 weeks at Gateway, man.
All right, thanks a lot, Zach.
All right, everybody. That was our third place driver, Chuck Sweeting in the 75 machine. What a night it was for him. We'll see what he can do at the Gateway Speedway, or otherwise now known as the Worldwide Technology Raceway, as it'll be fun to be there in 2 weeks. But now we got to talk to our top two guys, as Hunter Hayward was able to bring home second in the 48 machine with his return back here to the racetrack. Let's hear from the young man in the 48, a past champion here, about his solid run in the 48. Hey, Hunter, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, I tell you what, Hunter, another solid run, man. Good job coming back to the league. We've missed you for a few weeks, it seems like. And now the return into the Gen 6 car here at the Mile and a Half. It seemed to suit you very well. You were a previous winner here at Kentucky at SRU. I gotta take you back to that first run. You got all the way up to second there, got behind your teammate, ran him down, but just got in that dirty air and seemed to kind of get stuck from there. Do you think, what could you have done different here tonight to get Steven? Because it seemed like y'all were pretty close on pace.
Oh, I couldn't have done anything more than I could today. Dirty air in this car just is horrible. This setup was already tight to start off with, so once that air just started to get on your nose, you really couldn't do anything, and the car wouldn't turn at all. So a lot more off-throttle action with this newer build and the newer setup at this track. So it was easier for me to save tires. I would save it better than Stemp, and then I get into his dirty air and I couldn't go anywhere. So very frustrating on that. But overall, I mean, we had a really close run for the win there, and just came down to the wire at the end, and he had the luck of the draw.
Yeah, you took the lead from there during that first pit stop sequence. You were able to actually jump him there. You had the lead for majority of that portion, then just coming up on lap traffic, didn't get the right lane. He's able to go around you there. You come back out after that final pit stop and you're right there with him. Did he just get through traffic better? Because it seemed like you lost time in that segment of the race to him right there, and that kind of ended up being the downfall of you right there, even be able to battle with him at the end.
Yeah, no, I let him go a little bit. I knew he was going to be pushing harder than me, so I just was trying to go there and save tires. And you know, it's frustrating when you have lap cars who run the same set of tires as you, but just parking in front of you, and you parking in front of two people battling for the lead when they're battling for nothing. So that's very frustrating. And kind of ruined my chances for that win, but that's all right. I'll take that second place finish. It was overall great racing. I mean, I was with him and he was with me that whole race, and we kind of just worked as a team. We didn't really race each other very hard, and fortunately enough for both of us, we're gonna go 1-2 for Smoke Inc. Not the great day, not the greatest day for Dave Bush. I could tell he was frustrated. But I'm glad we're back in this Gen 6 car. Get more spread out, and we're able to finally drive the car a little bit more than the next gen.
Definitely agree up here, Hunter, man. I tell you what, it was a good run nonetheless for yourself as the return back here in the 48 at SRU, buddy. Congrats on second here tonight. Before we let you get out of here, though, anybody want to send a shout to?
Yeah, just all my family out there. I love all y'all. All my teammates out there, Steven and Dave out there. Great race today. I had to blast everyone at SRU for the league, putting on this show. Everyone at Freaky Fast, who put on a great show every single time. Everyone at SRU for letting me in. My prayers are still out for Stephen Leffler, who is still recovering from testing positive of COVID not too long ago, and he's trying to get back in the step of things. So I'm hoping for his recovery and still praying for him as well. I'm gonna give a quick shout out to the Hurlbut family. Just I don't really have many words for Keith. I know he's a great guy, and I really can't understand what he's going through. And that's I'm so glad we were able to put on a race for him. I know Keith's a great guy, and I enjoy being with him all the time. So I know that his daughter was as well, and just all my condolences. And I'm so sorry to everyone at the Hurlbut family. And I just enjoy racing with him week in and week out. And yeah, that'll be it.
Well, Hunter, great words from you, buddy, there. Congrats on the second place finish here tonight. We'll catch you in 2 weeks, hopefully at Gateway, buddy.
Alrighty, brother. You take care.
All right, everybody. That was our second place driver of Hunter Hayward in the 48 machine. What a night it was for him to return in that 48, but what a night it was to go back to back. Steven Stippian here is our race winner here tonight at Sim Racing Unleashed Cup Series. Let's hear from him as it was a dominant performance from this 81 machine. Hey, Steven, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Zach, I got a copy.
Well, man, I tell you what, you copied everything tonight because you were just on fire, buddy. Dominant performance. Just take us through this one because I don't even know where to start because you just never seemed to be out of it. Even when Hunter Hayward was able to jump you on pit road there, you got back by him through the traffic, methodically thought about it, man. Just take us through a wonderful race play by you, man, because this one's got to go up there as one of the more dominant wins from you.
Yeah, I was very happy with the run tonight. Tough track, tough setup, but I had seemed to be the best at getting through 3 and 4. That was my strong suit over. I think the whole field tonight was running that 3 and 4 perfect because that you got in there too high. It was too tight. But it was a fun run. Had a blast driving that car. So fun driving these cars. You actually have to drive them, which is fun. But yeah, that first run, obviously I knew I wanted to stay in front of Whitley and just get that clean air because I knew dirty air was so bad to be behind people. And just got my pit stops down, played it perfectly. That second run that you were talking about with Haywood, I kind of knew we were going to get some lap traffic. So I kind of took it easy. I could tell I was getting in deep on 3 and 4 on him. So I knew, I was running a lot better on through 3 and 4. But that little pick move I made halfway through the race came to my advantage. I mean, I didn't mean it for it to be a pick move, but I kind of saw who was in front of us. And I was like, I'm going to go high and see how that played out. And it played out pretty well.
That it did, man. Able to go back to back after winning at Indianapolis last week. That's got to be feeling pretty good. Also with the points lead, able to grow that some more also for yourself, man. In that 81, But we do have a week off here with Halloween coming up. But man, I'm looking at the next race on the schedule, and that's the one that's got me, really interested because Gateway, not a track we normally see at the Cup cars. How much experience you got there, man, and what do you think we can expect? Because I'm expecting a very interesting race to play out.
No experience. Looking forward to being there. We actually got a couple of tracks coming up between Gateway and Nashville that we've never run here in the league. So I'm looking forward to a little bit new tracks. See how it plays out, get my practice in, and hopefully build on the momentum for tonight. And we'll see what happens. Just excited to have back to back. I told you guys back at Daytona that I was coming this season, and trying to stay true to my word here.
Well, man, I tell you what, if you keep this up, you definitely are staying true to that word, man. Definitely looking great already to start the season, man. Congrats on another win and going back to back here at Kentucky. Man, before we let you get out, as always, the floor is yours for any shout outs, man, before we head off the Gateway in 2 weeks.
Obviously, you guys for the show that you guys put on week in, week out. Everybody in the league, great turnout tonight. Very happy with that. And congratulations on your win last night, too. I watched some of that. Also, that burnout was for the Hurlbut family. Thoughts and prayers. Being a father now, I can just imagine what they're going through, losing a child. Nobody should ever have to go through that. But definitely, thoughts and prayers are with them. And my teammates, Hunter Hayward, gave me a nice little battle there. All race, it was fun. Dave Bush out there too. I wish he got a better run tonight, but we'll work on it for Gateway in a couple of weeks. And then, obviously my beautiful paint job that I paint myself out there week in, week out. Chevy Accessories. My dad, love you. Appreciate the support. And my beautiful fiance, Kayla, obviously let me do this week in, week out, taking care of my baby boy out there. And looking forward to the next couple of weeks. Get a week off. Hopefully I can keep up the momentum. Don't let it slip away with a week off.
Well, man, we're going to have to see how you can carry that momentum. Congrats again, man, like I said, on the win, buddy. And we will catch you in 2 weeks. Thank you very much for joining us up here in the booth.
Thanks for having me. As always, guys, you guys have a good week.
All right, guys, that was your race winner, Steven Stippian, here tonight. Back-to-back wins for this man after winning in Indianapolis. Comes here to Kentucky and is able to put on a performance of the season so far. Really just very dominant from him. It's what a night it was here at the Kentucky Speedway. We'll go ahead and pull up our race results as we'll see where your favorite drivers were able to finish out here tonight. As we got the beautiful sky shots. I love these views of the track. You really see how much iRacing details at these places. But here is our race results as you look through them. Steven Stippian is going to be your race winner here tonight. Second's going to go to Hunter Hayward. Third is going to be Chuck Sweeting. Fourth's going to go to Mark Whitley. Fifth place is going to end up at Michael Yaro's hand. Sixth is going to go to Brandon Hartwell, last car on the lead lap. Seventh is going to go to Dylan Zelms after a great climb through the field. Eighth for Cody Dorsey. Ninth for Clifton Ashley. And rounding out your top 10 there's going to be Kevin Roy. As really look through the rest of the field, man, some big notable people throughout here that really had good races and drivers that didn't have the greatest races. Really looking at Jason Adams, he climbs 10 spots from 25th to 15th, but also Dave Bush not having the greatest night, qualifying 4th, dropping back to 17th. So just a tough night. Also the 2 of Byron Bartlett, he's going to finish 24th, last car on the finish tonight as he gets knocked out early in this race. So a wild finish here as our race results scroll through. Sim Racing Unleashed Cup Series keeps rolling on 5 weeks into it. But again, I gotta bring up what the rest of the drivers said too. Our condolences are always out to the Hurlbut family. Nobody should go through what they're going through and experiencing, but we all have them in our thoughts and prayers. As tonight was the Hannah Hurlbut Memorial 225, and it was all about remembering Hannah and definitely make sure you go out there. Also, if you haven't look up the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. It's a very, very important cause, and that's stuff that if you have the means to help, then we would love for people to do that. So make sure you go check stuff out like that. It's very, very important to our hearts up here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting and keeping our loved ones close to us. So definitely a special night up here in the booth of remembrance and a special night of racing. David, man, you got any final thoughts before we get out of here and get ready to get prepared for Gateway in 2 weeks here at Sim Racing Unleashed?
Yeah, going back to what we talked about at the start of the broadcast, this track here is known for giving some long runs, and that's exactly what we saw. The guys did a great job keeping it clean and giving us a caution-free race. So great performance by all of them. Steve Simpian and Hunter Haywood, teammates there, just putting on a show here in just a dominating fashion. So just impressed by that. And some shout outs to some guys that had some really good runs here. Looking at Kevin Roy, had a great finish there and moved up 8 spots on the point standing. So good run for him. And then looking at Steve Simpian and Mark Whitley, 7-point difference between them. So going off to the bye week, and hope everybody enjoys their Halloween and trick or treating. I know Robert Moore Jr. will be enjoying his candy, but it'll be curious to see as we go after the break there, going to a track that they haven't been on, see if these guys get some practice in and what kind of show they're able to put on, when we return.
Oh, I cannot wait, David, to see what they can do at the Gateway Speedway. It's going to be fun to watch. Do not miss any of that action as you can hit our subscribe and bell notification button to let you be notified each and every time we go live here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. And you don't want to miss out here in 2 weeks at Gateway, that's for sure, as we're going to be learning all along with all you fans at home. But remember, we're off next week here on Sunday, so have a good Halloween. Stay safe out there trick-or-treating, but always have a good time. So make sure you're with your friends and families there, as we definitely want it to be a special time of the year for everybody. So definitely thank you all for tuning in. We're going to send it up to our producer, Robert Moyer Jr., to close out tonight's broadcast here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting.
All right. Thank you, David. Thank you, Zach. Great calling. Great racing here tonight at Kentucky here with Sim Racing Unleashed. We go caution-free. That's something to be proud of as a league. You pack in 26 drivers and you can be able to walk out here caution-free. Good racing, good racing. Second, all due seriousness here, I second what everybody said on the diabetes. It's a tough thing to go through, and I've never lived through it, but just to throw that out there that everybody goes back and watches this replay or is watching us live right now, I've had diabetes. I have diabetes for over 20 years now, so I deal with it every day, and I have my good days and I have my bad days, and hopefully sometime there will eventually be a cure for it. It would be something great to see for the future. Of people that do wind up getting juvenile diabetes or just diabetes in general, type 1 or type 2, doesn't matter. But with that being said, again, from Freaky Fast Broadcasting, we do hopefully you say thank you to the Lord, give him a prayer, and I'm sure Hannah's up there looking down on you and taking care of you, the family, day in and day out. But in all other seriousness, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, tomorrow night, this is going to be fun. We're going to have Sam Dyer with Zach Hall. We're going to be live at 8:50 with NISCC trucks as they go to Eldora to throw some mud. So if you're into dirt racing and you want to see some dirt racing and you're not busy tomorrow night, make sure you tune in here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting at 8:50 so you don't miss any of the action. And on tonight's stream, like Zach said, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Helps us out. The bell button for every time we go live, you get an email or a notification on your smartphone or Android phone. And also there is a share link there that you can hit the share it to your favorite social media platform of your choosing. The league won't mind, we don't mind. But with that being said, we hopefully everybody has a great rest of their Sunday night, and be safe at work on Monday or whatever you do on Monday, and hopefully we catch you Monday night. But until then, from here from Freaky Fast Broadcasting, we want to say God bless everybody. We love yous all. Peace out.